yourself a moment to take in this simple truth. Stop thinking about the difficulty, whatever it is, and think about God instead. God is omnipotent, and I, in his image and likeness, and have dominion over all things. God is wisdom, God is truth, God is peace, God is joy, God is power, God is inconceivable love. God is present everywhere, at all times in its fullness. I, as the image and likeness of God, have dominion over all things. I, as the image and likeness of God, have the power of the word. When I speak the word, it goes forth and cannot return void. It accomplishes the thing whereunto I send it. My word now goes forth, charged with the power that is God. I now speak the word, and I say that the full power of God is now awakened in me, filling my soul with peace and life and joy. God is light. God's light fills my mind, my heart, my body, and my soul now. I am a child of God, filled with and surrounded by the protecting light that is God. Every aspect of my mind, life, and being is now brought into perfect and harmonious alignment with the light that is God. The perfect light that is God guides me now. God is love. God's love fills my mind, my heart, my body, and my soul now. I am a child of God, filled with and surrounded by the protecting love that is God. Every aspect of my mind, life, and being is now brought into perfect and harmonious alignment with the perfecting love that God is. The perfecting love that God is guides me now. God is truth. God's truth fills my mind, my heart, my body, my soul now. I am a child of God, filled with and surrounded by now perfecting truth that is God. Every aspect of my mind, life, and being is now brought into perfect and harmonious alignment with the perfecting truth that is God. The perfect truth that is God guides me now. God is radiant health. God's radiant presence fills my mind, my heart, my body, and my soul now. I am a child of God, filled with and surrounded by the radiant presence that is God. Every aspect of my mind, life, and being is now brought into perfect and harmonious alignment with the radiance that is God, and that manifests and demonstrates as my state of perfect health. The perfect radiant health that is God fills me now. God is peace. God's peace fills my mind, my heart, my body, and my soul now. I am a child of God, filled with and surrounded by the protecting peace of God. Every aspect of my mind, life, and being is now brought into perfect and harmonious alignment with the perfect peace of God. The perfecting peace that God is guides me now. I am a child of God. I am filled with and surrounded by the perfect and divine presence of God in its fullness. Every aspect of my mind, my life, and my being is now brought into perfect and harmonious alignment with all that God is and all that is good. Take a moment to stake your claim for your greatest desire. To affirm these truths that are true for everyone. We are here to be joyful, peaceful, healthy, prosperous. We claim this now. I let it be. I am so grateful, and so it is. Amen. Good morning and welcome to the Namaste Center. Hello everybody, and it's good to be back home, home with my spirit family, and home in our house, and home with the kitty cat, and all sorts of things. And it's nice to get away, but always good to come home. And we too, as I shared earlier, spent 16 days in Florida, 14 of which deluge rain. So we didn't miss anything you all had, so don't be thinking that we did. But that being said, it was a wonderful getaway, time to just be and get used to our new RV, and thankfully no toilet issues this time, so that's always a plus for those of you that have been around in the past. You've heard about those. No fun, believe me. But anyway, it was a really wonderful trip on a lot of levels. We started April 30th, went to Hilton Head in South Carolina, and had a beautiful time there, and the weather was perfect, and lots of bike riding and sunshine, and 70s during the day. It was perfect. And a strange thing happened. Our friend Jenny and Walter, who travel with us, they have an RV, we have one, and Jenny and I like to bike ride. Walter and Ellen like to stay back and chill. But anyway, we took a little bike tour with a group and went to the beach at Sea Pines and parked the bikes, walked to the beach a little bit, came back, and I hear someone call my name. And I looked up, and I'll be darned if it wasn't one of my very best friends, who I hadn't seen in 27 years since her wedding. She went to college in Chicago, married a fellow from Illinois, and has been up there ever since, so we just sort of lost touch. And it was remarkable to have that connection. It was really so cool. She came over with her husband and some friends, and they, we hung out a little bit and got caught up, and it was really amazing. And she reminded me that the first time she was at Hilton Head was in 1979 with our family, because we used to go every year, our family did, for starting in 1965, and so we'd always take a few extras with us, and Mary said that was the first time she went. So what an amazing, amazing blessing. Followed by a phone call, a text actually, from a boss of mine 30 plus years ago. I haven't heard from this guy honestly in a long time. And he's like, "Hey Shar, how the heck are you?" And I was like, so anyway, so he called me and I said, "Oh my gosh, he's a golf pro. I ran one of his golf schools in Florida, and great guy, and he's now retired, living in Nova Scotia and Thailand, half and half. So he's invited. Those sound like two nice vacations I'd like to take, and what a blessing. It was just weird. How did this happen? And then I went to Palm Beach, and I said we have to visit some of our former board members from the Palm Beach Center for Living, and one of which, Carolyn, I won't say her age, you would never guess it, but she's a remarkable woman. Of course, we always love to visit with Carolyn, and so that was fun. And then we went to see our friend Mary Percival. And Mary was this little solid woman, like, up until she's 96, and up until last year, she played tennis and golf 3 times a week. And now she's got a little mind thing going on, but she was, she knew who we were, and we had a blast, and it was a lot of fun, and that was such a great connection because her heart is just enormous, and talk about a hugging saint, she is that. And then Natalie, a dear friend Natalie, who was just a treasure in our life, and she's in a nursing facility now, and a little bit of mind change there as well, and she kept asking, she recognized me, she said, "How's the center?" Meaning the one in Florida, and I'm like, it's great. So she still was sort of in that mindset, and about 10 times that day, "Charlotte, how's the center?" I said, it's great. So, so it was just really special in that, and we got to spend some good time with Ellen's family, and that's always great. So, really feeling a call, to connect with people that I'd lost touch with. And my sisters are both like, "When are you coming back to Huntington, my hometown?" And I said, soon. And I actually said to one, "When you all come down here, I'll come back up." So we'll see who goes first. But anyway, it was a great trip. So, as you probably know, you've heard me talk the past several months, I'm really loving the class and the book, The Way of Mastery. It just speaks to my heart and my soul, and it's every time I read it or in the group or what have you, it's terrific, and you just feel it. It's it's just like Jesus is sitting in the group, and you just feel the power of those words, and they're simple, and it's wonderful. And so, before we left, I believe it was the group before we took off for the month, one of the exercises was to ask yourself, what do you desire? Well, that opened up a can of worms for me. So it was kind of like, wow, that's a question I haven't asked myself in a while for me personally. And I realized that, so much of my energy has been externally focused and keeping this one and that one and dealing with this and that I had sort of taken myself out of the mix. And I'm like, what do I desire? And then it was a great blessing. It got me thinking, got the ball rolling, and so gave me much time to contemplate. And so that's why I definitely want to share this afternoon with the group, what's come up. And it's a good thing. It's a positive thing. It's all good. But it's a shift, a change. And it's really desiring and taking care of myself. And I think that's a lesson for all of us. We get so caught up sometimes in life, and we have conditions and situations, and maybe parents or a sick partner or whatever it could be, a job issue, lots of things. Just life sometimes we get so caught up in that whirlwind that we get depleted. And so it's always about bringing it back home, because if our cup is empty, as we've heard, we really don't have anything to share or give. So all these things are, I think, a lesson for me, for myself, and a lesson for all of us to share how we can really take care of ourselves and each other in the most healthy and happy way. And this Emmett Fox exercise that I did during the meditation, it's just so simple, so powerful, and just classic, law of attraction. They make a fancy book and try to rename it, but this has been around for a long time, and it's the truth. Focus on God instead of the problem, period. Seek first the kingdom of God, but we get so caught up and we want to get into the drama and the da-da-da-da-da, and before you know it, everything's out here and there's nothing left in here. And I own that for myself, because I too am very aware of that. But I was really, as I mentioned earlier, I got up early for the Harry and Meghan wedding. I thought that was just one of the most amazing things. It was beautiful, first of all. They're such a sweet and beautiful couple, and it was mind-boggling in a good way to me how welcoming and honoring the royal family was to Meghan. She's not of royal descent. She's biracial. One thing that Ellen had mentioned, there's a possibility that there could be a black baby born into the royal family, which is cool. It's like, wow, this is, they're really shaking it up. They're moving things. And the fact that the Queen Mother is so in love with them, you can just see it. And so something's shifting, something's shaking there. And it was just the way that I loved the bishop who spoke, and I loved the music. I played Stand By Me. It was just so heart-touching, heart just really so warming and beautiful. And so Harry and Meghan are definitely the future, leading the way for the future of not only the royal family, but I think in many aspects with their work, they're going to make a big impact in the world. And so, like them, I feel that Namaste Center is doing exactly that. We're not plain vanilla. We're never going to be that. Sorry to say, we're not a traditional church. We're a spiritual family. We're a spiritual center. We are a church in the legal sense, but we're blazing a new trail. It's a trail that really is our own to create, and it's exciting. And so we've got to be willing to let go of our past beliefs and ideas about how we think things should be, and say, okay, Spirit, I am open to the highest and best good for everybody. And then start with ourselves and each other, and to support and honor and bless each other. And I really feel, I wear my feelings on, I can't really, where I'm at, so I'm not gonna, and I feel like I'm straightforward and honest, but it's been a struggle for me in many ways, a lot of things lately. And so I've been, what do I desire? And it's like, well, I desire fun. I desire to be able to go out and travel with Ellen and the dogs anytime I want, and still have a spiritual home to come home to. And I desire that we, really have a community where everybody's gifts are freely and fully given. And I desire where we honor and love each other and not be petty and defend and attack. I desire a center where we're really walking the talk. And I think that what happens is sometimes when we push it, and I believe in every person in here, but sometimes when we're really like that, okay, I'm committed, I'm not gonna, we're doing a new paradigm here, and I'm surrendering and I'm letting go, and the ego says, not so fast, what about that, what about that, what about that, and then boom, 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 before you know it, all of the stuff that comes up in the RV sometimes hits the fan, and it's not so pretty. But I have faith that we are here to be happy. I know this. We're here to be joyous. We're here to serve. We're here to love. We're here to prosper, and all is well if we can get out of the way. But we really have to be willing to let go of gossip, back talk. It don't work, and well, I'll just leave it at that. So anyway, it's an exciting time. It is an exciting time for us, and this Bishop Michael Curry, he spoke at the wedding. He was so animated and so right on. And the guy's from North Carolina, which I thought was very cool, like Raleigh. Wow. So there you go, Raleigh. Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was awesome. And I did notice, and y'all might have too, like some of the royals were like, you can tell that they're like, what is going on here? It's like, what has happened to my pristine whatever? And but and then some of them you'd see giggling, and they're like, well, whatever, they're going to adjust, and that's okay. But he went on to say, Dr. King, meaning Martin Luther, was right. We must discover love, the redemptive power of love. And when we do that, we will make of this world a new world. And that's the truth. I know that from the core of my being. I know that to be the truth, and I know that we're here for a big purpose. Whatever that purpose is, whatever it looks like, I don't even know. I really don't know. But I know that we're breaking through a new barrier, a new paradigm here. And it takes courage to do that. It took courage for Meghan and Harry to do what they did. But we've got so much if we just get out of the way, let go of how we think things need to be. Well, this is the way it's been done, and this is the way it's got to be done. And let me backtrack a little bit, and I'll tell you how that didn't work for me one time out of 1,000. But I won't bring up all 1,000. But in Florida, there was, I was green. When I opened up the Palm Beach Center for Living, I was a golf pro. I was a C student. I just was, golf was it. That's what I knew. I was good at it, and I loved it. And all of a sudden, I have this calling to open up this center, and the floodgates opened. And next thing you know, I've got Marla Trump, I've got Marianne Williamson, I've got Deepak Chopra. Like, this is like, wow, cool. And I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But one thing I was doing was I was following my heart. And I was trusting, because I didn't know what else to do. I sure didn't know what I was doing. So anyway, we had a lot of blessings, a lot of miracles, big time. And a well-meaning woman, professional woman from Palm Beach, loved the center, came in, and she's like, man, what you've done is amazing. I don't know how you've done this. And I said, thank you. And she said, if you only would do this, then you'd be really flying high. I'm like, well, she's the expert. This is what she does for a living, so I'm in. Well, there was a part of me that just said, this is not, this isn't feeling right. So anyway, but she was the expert. She knew. She had a college degree. She did a lot of things. and was very much involved with charities and organizations and churches in the area. Something was like, nah, nah, nah. So anyway, I should have listened, and I didn't. Because I appreciated her, I loved her, I respected her, and I allowed her earthly credential to take over my inner guidance. And I'm not blaming her because I know she came from love. The lesson was on me because I didn't listen. But either way, so the center was like, and then it went, and we did get our bearings back. It took a little while, but we got them back. But it was a big lesson. And so if you want to, anyone I think who's sort of broken through the barrier, you're going to go through this. You're going to take some hits. But those are lessons to be learned and blessings. They really are. So I actually am grateful to her for that. By no means do I have anything but gratitude in my heart, because I learned a big lesson. And I also knew that I needed to learn some other things too. So to follow up on the bishop's quote on love, so I don't spill that, this Emmett Fox poem about love says, "There is no difficulty that enough love will not conquer, no disease that enough love will not heal, no door that enough love will not open, no gulf that enough love will not bridge, no wall that enough love will not throw down, no sin that enough love will not redeem. It makes no difference how deeply seated may be the trouble, how hopeless the outlook, how muddled the tangle, how great a mistake. A sufficient realization of love will dissolve it all. If only you could love enough, you would be the happiest and most powerful being in the world." Amen. Amen. Isn't that the truth? And I believe that from the core of my being. If we just would love and trust that process, focus on God, not the problem. So I believe, and I always have, I believe in, I love the ministerial classes I teach. I've ordained 60 people. It's been a beautiful process. I've learned more from every one of them than they've ever learned from me. I believe in people's abilities, and I want to see everybody shine. Another thing that makes us unique here, a lot of Indians, okay? A lot of talent. To be honest with you, I've got talents, I've got skills, I know what they are, and I know which ones I don't have. But I don't care who the person is. I think I've moved, I don't say this arrogantly, but I've moved beyond the desire to buy into one realm of spirituality from one or two people. There's so much more out there. Everyone's got a message. You may like some and you may not like the other. But the fact is, we all come here bearing gifts. And that is what I envision, is some way for us to harness this in peace and harmony. And what if we had 80 freaking ministers up here speaking on Sundays? Is that so bad? I mean, I don't think it is. I think it's awesome. That's just me. But anyway, so every soul is divine. Every soul is a leader. We are moving into a new paradigm. Our center, our church, is a way for us all to wake up to our magnificence. And the center is not about me, it's not about you, but it's about we. It's about all of us. Most important thing we can offer to the world is being the message. We don't have to figure it out. I believe the Way of Mastery has been a really awesome tool to show how simple it really can be. Really can be. So, Paramahansa Yogananda, he says, you will continue to suffer if you have an emotional reaction to everything that is said to you. True power is sitting back and observing everything with logic. True power is restraint. If words control you, that means everyone can control you. Breathe and allow things to pass. And then this is just a tag on. Surround yourself with people who push you to do and be better. No drama, no negativity, just higher motivation. Good times and positive energy, no jealousy or hate. Simply bringing out the absolute best in each other. That says it all. And I just suggest that we find the blessings and the gifts in each other and build on them. It's a new day today. All the past, except its beauty, is gone, and all that remains is a blessing. I don't think there's a person in here who hasn't made a lot of mistakes, and I'll be the first to admit it. I have. And I have. So, but I accept that, and I'm willing to move forward and with new hope and anticipation. And to be able to spread an aura of goodness and peace should be the motive of our lives. Even if there's a good reason for being excited because of mistreatment, one instead who controls himself in such a situation is a master of himself. So do we want to be a victim or a master of ourselves? It's a choice. It's a decision. And mankind, we've reached a place in our spiritual evolution that the bridge can only be crossed in unity. And we're here to lead the way if we choose to. It's up to us. So as the Quakers say, we need to put feet to our prayers. This is a community of great souls. Just think what we could do if we all put feet to our prayers. Mother Teresa says, I used to pray that God would feed the hungry or do this and that, but now I pray he will guide me to do whatever I'm supposed to do, what I can do. I used to pray for answers, but now I'm praying for strength. I used to believe that prayer changes things, but now I know that prayer changes us and we change things. So, we will never change the world by just going to church. We will only change the world by being the church. And each of us, that's the one mantra in ADL, is our church is on our back. So it doesn't happen from 11:11 to 12:11 or whatever, 12:12. That's just the beginning. That's where we come and celebrate and get inspired. But it's when we walk out the door, how do we spend the other 6 days and 11 hours, or 23 hours? And it's up to us. So we're at a turning point. This is a awesome place, awesome time for us. And I'm very excited about the possibilities. And I'll close with a very simple but poignant quote from the Course in Miracles. There is no veil the love of God in us together cannot lift. And so it is. Namaste.